Sensational Sunday, everyone. Welcome to another exciting and life changing edition of Faces of Resilience, where we're actually running right now a Top Talent JV special where we showcase the most incredible entrepreneurs and professionals out there, not only in the special events industry but in the coaching industry, to be able to share with us different ways that we can become more resilient through the challenging times. Well, today I'm actually super honored and very blessed to have Danella Burnett, who is the founder and CEO of Anchor Elite events, and also she is the leader of Speakers Need to Speak. Oh, don't we all want to speak? And many other accolades that I could not even tell you about, but I'll give her all the bragging rights to that later on. Well, what a blessing it is to have you, Danella. Welcome, welcome.
Furley, thank you so much for inviting me to be here today. And resilience, oh my goodness, is this not a topic that we need to be talking about and keep talking about? Because life just comes at us. And whether it's business or our personal life or working with clients, when you work with clients, you take on some of their challenges as well sometimes. So, as a coach, as a leader, as a consultant, like, you've got to know about resilience. So what a great topic. And I'm excited to jump in, and what a gracious hostess you are.
Oh, thank you so very much. And I've had my own many, actually a tsunami of struggles in my life, both personal, medical, and professional. And so I could relate very much to what you are saying, and that is exactly the reason why I stepped into my calling to be the voice of hope and resilience. And quite frankly, right now, one of the things that I love about reading about you is that you said it says in there, speakers need to speak. So many of us actually have a story and a compelling message that we're ready to share with the world. But of course, right now we are struggling to find a way to be able to hold events. And gone are the days when you have to just fly to a special event and go elbow to elbow with people, because people are scared right now. So I would love for you to first address the current trends right now when it comes to special events for speakers, authors, or whatever it may be.
Well, 18 months ago, 19 months ago, when COVID hit and the world went into lockdown, the special events industry needed to make a pivot very, very quickly. And actually, in my opinion, what it did was it really propelled us forward by many years. Online events were already taking place. But in my opinion, and actually I kind of made fun of online events prior to the lockdown and prior to the changes we made in 2020 and so far in 2021, because I felt at that point, online events were really more geared towards communication. You didn't really have connection. But when everybody was forced to, we've got to find the way, and event professionals and speakers and coaches and event hosts really kind of put their heads together and changed the event industry, we now have online events, digital events, virtual events that have engagement and have true connection. So everybody shifted in 2020. And in fact, we shifted very early. I called my coach the weekend of March 16th.
Okay, that was
I was going through, everything was going into lockdown. Nobody knew what was happening. Our speakers community was like, whoa, where are the stages going? Our event hosts were like, should we move forward? Should we pause? What should we do? And here locally in Georgia, we actually own a tent and event rental company, Linear Tent Rental as well. And in 3 days, we had $121,000 in cancellations. My husband literally, like, I'm going to take a pile of paper here. My husband literally dropped a pile of paperwork in front of me that Saturday and said, that's our next 3 months of business, and it's all gone. So I called my coach, and just, that's a hint. If you have a coach, if you get a coach, ask if your coach has a coach, because it is important that we all have somebody who is outside of ourselves that we can turn to, who knows our business, who knows our strengths, knows our weaknesses, that we can turn to. Because as the great Les Brown says, you cannot see the frame when you're in the picture. Another friend of mine knows I love coffee, and she's like, you can't see the cup when you're the coffee. You've got to have that person that you can just reach out to and go, oh my goodness, like, what should I do next? Because they're often able to see a pathway that you can't see. And so I called my coach and I went, whoa, what are we going to do? Like, what is the path out of here? And she said, well, don't know yet about the tent and event rental business, but I know from the event and speaking, you need to go virtual, and you need to go virtual now. So we actually did our very first virtual event on March 21st of last year. I gathered up some of my speakers. I reached out to some of the amazing experts that we get to play with and said, we're going to do a virtual event because people need to know that we're going to get through this. Like, we don't have all the answers, but we at least know the step is going to have to be virtual. So let's do it. And we did a 7-day event with 3 speakers every day. Somebody who was very, very big and well known in the industry, somebody who was an up and comer in the industry, and somebody who was just starting out. So that regardless of where our listeners were at, they were going to hear from somebody who was exactly where they were at and dealing with the exact same struggles. And we called it the Now and the Next Summit. Because,
wow, I love that.
I
love that. First of all, it's very innovative. It's very sensitive. It's very insightful, actually, for you to be able to address the different stages, because oftentimes, oh my gosh, I don't belong there because I'm just, like I'm not even there yet. I'm just in the beginning, and you feel like you don't deserve to share a stage with such big names. And here you are at Anchor Elite Events, allowing people who are just up and coming to be able to feel that there is the potential, actually believe and see that there is actually a place for them on big stages. So thank you very much for that.
Well, every big name star that we know and we look up to started somewhere. And that's part of what Speakers Need to Speak is about, is helping speakers, regardless of where you're at in your, along your journey, whether you're just starting out or you're very seasoned, that you still need support getting out on stages. And the type of stage might vary. The investment or the pay, if you're a keynote speaker, might vary, but the need to get out there is universal. The need to get out and share your message and tell your story is universal. If you're a coach or a consultant and you're looking to make a difference in the world, you've got to get out there on stages. And that's what we want to support speakers to do, is to get out on the right stage and maximize that so they make a difference in the world.
So you have is Speakers Need to Speak a community, or is it like a type of program that people need to sign up for to be able to access your events?
Well, it's both. It is a community, but we also have a service where we provide leads, resources, and that community in a closed paid community. We provide leads every month. I have an incredible team that starts every month with a blank slate. And they scour the internet, social media, some of the other resources that we have. I add all the events that I'm aware of that have speaking opportunities. And so our speakers in our program don't start the month with 0. They start with a list of hot leads, freshly curated for the month, so they're able to quickly get themselves out onto the right stages.
Wow. That is like worth the price of admission, right? Now, besides you providing the leads, do people who are part of that program, do they have to pitch themselves, or do you do the pitching for them?
Depends on what level they're at. We actually have 2 levels of service in that, because some people do have more time than they have money. So our starter service, they get the leads list and we give them feedback and coaching on how to approach them. And we have a weekly Ask Anything. So my belief is it's okay to get stuck. It's not okay to stay stuck. So we have a weekly Ask Anything where I'm on with all of our clients, regardless of what level they're at, to help them, get to that next level or move a little bit further in an opportunity. And then we do have both private and our elite programs where we either do the pitching or we do a little bit more for bringing that opportunity together so that our more seasoned speakers are able to make a faster yes and get on more stages.
You're like the mama bear of speakers. I love the fact that it's a very nurturing environment. I'm listening to you. It's like, oh my gosh, where has she been all my life? You know, for the last 10 years, here I am, obviously hustling. Hustling is part of our calling in life because, people would not know who we are unless we go out there. But oftentimes we don't know the right system to be able to market ourselves so that people can actually book us. And here you are holding our hands in the process, regardless of where we are in our lives. So that's absolutely amazing. If you are a speaker already who is looking to uplevel your game, or you want to be a speaker because you have a compelling message that you're dying to share with the world, this is the perfect forum for you to be at. My goodness, how awesome is that? Now, okay, so speakers need to speak. Now, let's go back to the challenges that we're having right now. Okay, it's going hybrid. Is it hybrid now, or are live events back?
So I'm going to say this about hybrid. For most of you, don't do it because a virtual event, there's some great benefits we've discovered hosting a virtual event versus an in-person event. One, your costs, your expenses, your risk is lower in a virtual event than it is in an in-person event. You don't have the costs associated with the venue, with hospitality, feeding everybody, travel, bringing your team in for travel, putting yourself and your team in hotels. And you can do things much faster because your attendees don't also have to do the travel. Those are some of the benefits that we have discovered in virtual and why we have clients who used to do 1 or 2 3-day events a year that are now doing 4 to 6 times that, or 4 to 6 events per year because they can do them more frequently. We have a lot of first time event hosts that are having 3-day events. Their expenses or their risk are down because they don't have those particular items to pay for, but they're still getting the same results. They're still having 6-figure weekends. We've done 31 virtual events since March of last year.
Wow.
For ourselves or for clients. And all but 3 of them have had $100,000 or more in revenue and in profit. Than only a few of them, and it had to do with marketing. Only a few of them have fallen below that mark. But 90%, literally 90% of the virtual events that we've done have had a 6-figure result for a
Wow.
3-day event without the expenses of hospitality and venue. When you go hybrid, you have to add all that back in. So you lose some of the benefits of keeping your expenses down, and you may need twice the team, and you may or may not have those same results because you're now trying to attend to 2 audiences. When you have an audience that's on the other side of the camera, like I can look at this camera, and if you're on the other side of this camera, you feel me looking at you. You feel the connection. But if I have people in the room in front of me and I'm talking to them, all of a sudden I'm not talking to the people who are on the other side of the camera, and vice versa. If I'm giving all my time and attention to my virtual attendees, then my in-person attendees aren't getting that engaging experience. And you also have to take into account every activity might be different timing for virtual versus in person. When you take a lunch break in person, you might be guiding your attendees out to the hallway, to the buffet or the box lunch. They might be doing breakout sessions. There might be other activities that are taking place during that lunchtime, maybe sponsors or vendors who are there on site in person. But then you have your virtual audience. What experience are you giving them? Do they have a different lunch and learn? Do they have you sent DoorDash certificates, or do you have a different kind of lunch experience going on for them? So you might need twice as much team to attend to those different activities when you go hybrid. So, not to say hybrid can't be done, but I would caution you to really decide if you have to do hybrid, because I think unless you're really a 2.0 event host, there are additional expenses and additional risks
What
that
does
you
that mean,
take into
2.0
account.
host? What does that mean, Danella? When you say 2.0 host?
Really a seasoned host. Like, when you first do something, you're at 1.0. You're just starting out, you're at the first level, you want to get help, you want to get support, and you want to do things simply and effectively so that you get results and you get a return on your investment, and you bring an engaging and an impactful event to your audience. 2.0 is really kind of those next level. You might upgrade your audio visual. You might upgrade the swag that you send to your attendees. You might upgrade part of the experience because you already have some experience under your belt. You are more comfortable selling from the stage. You've done a 3-day event before. You understand the energy that it takes to be a 3-day event host. So, I'm focusing on that because I think that is the easiest place to really see the impact, because in a 3-day event, we're typically talking about a high ticket offer, something that's $8,000 or more. And you are making an investment to have that 3-day event. You've got team, and it's multiple days. So you might be paying an AV team, you might be paying a planning team in the chat, team in person, managing a help desk or a registration table, all of those things. So when you go hybrid, again, not to say you can't do it, but it really should involve some careful consideration over whether those additional expenses really make sense for the experience that you're looking to do. For
My
most of
goodness.
our clients, we're recommending do one or the other. Do in person or do virtual. But when you start mixing them, you lose some of the benefits that you get from doing one or the other.
You're like a walking encyclopedia of special events host.
I've been doing this a very, very long time.
I am so impressed. Actually, it's really quite encouraging to know that even if you do virtual, that you could actually make six-figure income. But oftentimes, a lot of the speakers do not know how to do that. Now, besides the fact that you're helping them find, say for example, sponsors, places where they can speak, how about marketing? How are you able to support them?
So there's many different ways that you can market a 3-day event, and that really depends on your strengths as an event host. One of the things that we do with our event host is called a ticket map, where we look at where are your attendees going to come from. Some of our clients have a very big email list, and they might be doing more with email marketing or picking up the phone and calling those people that are already in their world. Maybe they have a big Facebook group already. So there's marketing to those people that are already close to you. And that is the benefit of some of our event hosts. Some of our other clients are not marketing to the people already close to them, but they're looking for brand new people. So they might be doing ads, or maybe they're going to run a challenge or host a summit or host a free event where they then might invite people to a paid event. So it really does, it really does differ depending on what your strengths are as an event host. So we go through that from speaking on stages to using affiliates and doing affiliate marketing and having other people promote your event to their communities, running challenges, hosting a summit, speaking on other people's summits, speaking in front of your own ideal audience, being a sponsor at someone else's event where you can invite the right fit audience to your event, doing Facebook Lives, going out on Clubhouse or other social audio, having a solid social media strategy. All of these are different ways that you can attract people to your event. And it's really important that you do that marketing on paper, that you really develop the plan. In fact, when we go through our 6 step to a successful event with our clients, marketing is step 4. And a lot of event hosts want to go right to marketing. Like, I've put the date on the calendar, it's time to market it. You've got to have an idea of what you're marketing and what your marketing message is. And so we start with the brainstorm to the bank is our first step. Then we go into the budget. Then we go into some of the logistics and making sure that what we estimated in our budget is really going to make sense when we start to expand, and that we are bringing in the right team, the right technology. And then when we get those things in place and we have a solid marketing message, then we can put our marketing plans into place, knowing that we have a solid plan. We know where we're looking for our right fit audience. And we also have the map so we can compare ourselves to the map at any time and say, wow, this is working. This is not working. We need to tweak. I need to get out on some more stages. I need to make sure my affiliates are actually sending out information. Or maybe we need to run a challenge because we need to get some folks really excited and find new people to come into our world. So that marketing and ticket map is critical when you're planning an event, but you've got to have the plan. Nobody does really well when you just market blindly, whether that's for your business or for an event. You've got to have a plan. That's how marketing works best.
Yeah, you got to have a blueprint. I have a question for you. Actually, like when I'm listening to you, I'm actually smiling. It's like, oh, okay, I can actually create events virtually and be as successful, right? And like energy can be channeled, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but one of the things that I noticed, this is from the audience standpoint, right? I noticed some of them don't turn the cameras on, right? And so you cannot see how they are responding, if they're fully present. How do you encourage the audience to keep their camera on, so you know that they're not there and not in the bathroom or anything like that? So how do we get them fully present on a virtual event?
Well, one is to remind them of that often. It is very easy for an attendee to go off camera, and sometimes they need to. One, when you do the schedule, you have to take into account that people do need to step away every once in a while. They need a bio break, they need to rehydrate, they need to refresh. We encourage people to, walk outside and put a little sun on their face in the middle of the event. So you want to remind them often, and you want to remind them when you send out some pre-event swag or engagement. That swag is not just about sending them a gift. It's really to engage them and let them know this isn't going to be just a webinar. It's not just a seminar. Like, this is really cool. We're going to engage, and maybe these are some things from the sponsors that we want you to meet at the event.
I've never heard that
Not,
before. Hold on a second. Swag. You think of swag as like your swagger, right? So when you say an event swag, what exactly is it, and how does it help people get more enrollment?
so if you've attended a virtual event in the last 18 months, you've probably attended an event where the host sent you something in the mail before the event. And as you're unboxing it, and maybe it's all things that came directly from the host, sometimes it's things that come from the sponsors, and the host has collected those and sent those to you. Sometimes it's just a simple the workbook or the emoji stick so you can be engaged. It can be what we call flat swag, which just comes in a mailer pack, or it can be a big box of goodies. I now have about 40 swag boxes that we go through as examples with our clients for ideas of things that would engage their attendees and kind of show your attendees what to expect. Maybe you have a theme around your event, and so you want your swag box to show them that. But when somebody gets something in the mail in the days before their event, it lets them know from the beginning, this is going to be an experience. This isn't just, let's turn on the cameras and it's going to be a webinar or a seminar. this is going to be an event experience. So you start there, and in there you tell them, we want to see you. You have a registration. You actually do a check-in process for our events. Just like you would go to a live event, you would check in at the table, you'd get your lanyard, you'd get some helpful tips, you'd be told where you could go or not go. For all of our events, we have a help desk, and we have a live person who's there to help you and engage you. That person always reminds attendees, this is a live event experience. We want you on camera. We want to see you. We want to engage with you. Once the event starts, you want to remind your attendees of that often, and you want to reward those that are doing it. So when you come back from break, maybe you have little giveaways, and it could even be a $5 Starbucks gift card or an Amazon card, or sometimes even just recognition of those people who are engaged and present, and maybe they're up dancing after a break, or they're on camera and they're participating. And remind those that are off camera that you do want to see them, and encourage them to engage in the chat. So, we recognize.
Because I'm already having a different experience.
What?
I'm just listening to you. I'm already having a different experience because what you're sharing with me, I've never heard before. Because one of the questions I wanted to ask you is what makes you different. But obviously, from what you are sharing with me, you are a genius at what you do in elite, Encore Elite hosting, and also, like, say for example, being able to help speakers have a place to speak, and even with the tents. By the way, going back to the tents, now that when the restaurants opened up and now they have to have an outdoor seating, did your rental for the tents increase again?
So we were so fortunate. We went less than a week, and we got the first call from the hospital to put up tents for coronavirus testing and treatment sites. So we then called every clinic within 200 miles, told them we had tents. They were not being used for weddings. They were not being used for golf tournaments and the college graduation. We ended up putting out tents, many of which stayed up for months. We have some tents that are still out because they've moved from testing and treatment to, vaccine sites. We actually ended 2020 5% over 2019 after taking $121,000 loss in March.
That's a beautiful, successful story of resilience. Look at that. Obviously from special events, weddings, bar mitzvah, whatever it may be. Now you were able to utilize those tents for something that's really very important and very meaningful right now. Yep. And it's still out there. And so look at you. Like I'm so in awe of what you do, because aside from the fact that you're having the rental for the tents that are being utilized right now, you have shown how you can actually even catapult your success in this type of business through a pandemic by being relevant, right? That's one thing. And
we were very fortunate, and I know, and I always recognize that, not every small business owner was able to stay doing what they do. And we did have tents and event rentals. We had china and glassware and linens that sat unused for months and months because those kind of special events were not taking place. And very, very grateful that we found something in our inventory that was useful and was our way out from that initial hit. And of course now weddings and people are encouraged to do outdoor events now. So our tents are going out for special events and golf tournaments and weddings and those things that were postponed last year. But I think every small business owner, has had to make that choice to either stop doing what you're doing and find the next thing that you can do, or find that element within your inventory or repertoire that you can do. And the sad fact remains that we don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't know if this is the last of the lockdowns. We don't know if this is the last of major shifts that we're going to have to take in our journey as entrepreneurs in, the 2020s. I mean, no one would have predicted this in 2019. But I think as a result of this, it has encouraged entrepreneurs to just really dig in deep and think about what is it that you do. And if you couldn't do one part of something that you do, can you pivot? Can you shift? Can you adapt something that you do to a different audience or different medium? And I'm so grateful that we'd already made that shift to serving speakers before in 2019. I've been an event producer for many, many years, but a lot of times new event hosts come from speakers. And so I saw there were speakers that needed help. I had speakers that we were matching with the events that we did who would then say, can you help me get on other stages? Can you help me get on other stages? So we launched Speakers Need to Speak as an extension of things that we were doing in 2019. And in 2020, it just made sense to shift both our events and the way that we serve speakers into the virtual. And now, as it is going hybrid, because even though I don't recommend hybrid, there are certainly hybrid events out there, and I've even spoken at some of them. There are going to be some well done hybrid events, and you'll want to take a look at those. In-person events will come back. I don't think they'll come back in the size and the scope that they were pre-pandemic for a while. I think they'll be smaller, but we've also shown that smaller, more intimate events can sometimes be even more profitable because it's a tighter, close-knit community. And often you can serve a greater number of a smaller, more like-minded community than getting out on a big stage where it might be a little bit more of a mixed audience or different levels that people are at. So we shifted our events, we shifted our speaking, and continue to serve, in the virtual and digital, and we'll go back to in-person when it makes sense to ourselves.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Do you have any type of group coaching program or a webinar where you can share all of these beautiful, life-changing insights for entrepreneurs to become more resilient?
Well, it's not about resiliency, but it is about visibility. And it takes resiliency to get to visibility. So we actually have an event coming up at the end of this month, August 31st through September 2nd. You can check it out at visibilityticket.com. And if you message me on social media, either on my Instagram account or on our Facebook account, if you mention that you met me here through Furley, I am going to give you an automatic upgrade to VIP. So get your general admission ticket. Let us know you're coming. We need your address because we've got swag to send you.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait to have a swag. It will be my first time to receive a swag.
We're going to give you the extra swag.
Yeah, that is visibility. What did you say? Visibility ticket?
Visibilityticket.com.
Okay.
So visibilityticket.com. And let me give you a free gift today. In case you're not quite sure you want to spend 3 days with me yet, if you go to speakersneedtospeak.com/giveaway, you're going to get our Speakers Crush It from the Stage checklist so that you can be prepared, positioned, and profitable. Speakersneedtospeak.com/giveaway. And then we'll be in communication with each other. And it's open until the time of the event. Let me know that you heard us here. And if you're coming to the visibility event, I'll give you an automatic upgrade to VIP, which is worth $100. And we'll send you that amazing swag before the event.
My goodness, how exciting is that? My goodness, like visibility, it's very important because if you're not visible, there's no way that people can actually hire you or engage in your services. So visibility ticket.com, right?
Exactly. And we've got a speakers contest going on over that couple of days. So you get to try out your message. We've got over $20,000 in cash and prizes and speaking opportunities. And it's a ton of fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We take speaking seriously, but not ourselves too seriously. So we're going to have a ton of fun. You're going to meet some incredible speakers. We have experts from all over the speaking and event space coming in as judges who are some celebrities as well. So you're going to make some great connections, and I guarantee everybody will walk out of there with at least one speaking opportunity.
Oh my goodness. look, she's guaranteeing one speaking opportunity. What have you got to lose, really? And then actually, like, I met Danella through Top Talent JV, and we're having an event tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And it's all about finding the right platform where you get to connect with the people who are like-minded and will open doors for you for a brand new opportunity. Danella gives us all speakers or wannabe speakers. My goodness, speakers need to speak. And of course, when you do not know exactly how to put together an event and go through all the logistics and the planning and the budget and the marketing, Danella, as you can very well see, just I am just like listening to you, basking in all of this amazing information that you're giving, because these are new information that so many people do not know about. So it's almost like you gave us the inside secrets, to the oh, okay, right, like, but you are so generous by being able to share that. And this is just the icing on the cake, so the meat and potatoes of the whole thing is like the actual content. You will learn so much from Danella. As you can very well see, she's a wealth of knowledge and experience, and just the fact that she's able to allow us actually to become resilient and visible through this lockdown that we're experiencing right now is an absolutely magnificent gift. Any last words before we go?
Well, I just want to encourage you. If you're listening to this, I believe that you probably have a message that you want to share with the world. And whether you have a vision of changing your neighborhood and changing parenting in your community, or you have a vision to be on the hugest stages in the world and transforming millions of lives, it starts by getting out there and getting visible and sharing your message. And because if you're unheard, if you're unseen, you cannot change the world. And I firmly believe that it is the coaches, the consultants, the entrepreneurs, those that have heartfelt, authentic messages that come from experience, that come from overcoming, that come from showing others how to overcome as well, that we're going to change this world. Because it is a broken world out there. There are forces at work that are not good. There are greedy people out there. There are greedy corporations out there. There's trouble everywhere you look. But there's also pathways to us being peaceful and harmonious and supportive and transforming and enlightening and awakening and becoming more spiritual and becoming just a better planet. And I love that what I do supports those of you with amazing messages to get out there and not only be impactful, but also profitable, because it is perfectly okay. And you deserve it. And the world deserves for you to make money with your knowledge and your expertise, because that's how you can keep doing it. Messages without monetization will eventually go mute. So we don't want that to happen. We want you to monetize and we want you to have incredible businesses so that you can take your beautiful messages out there and help the world and bring up that next person. So get out there, do it, get the support that you need. Don't try to do it all on your own. None of us is good at everything, but we're all good at something. So focus on the thing that you're good at, get the support that you need, and I can't wait to see you out on the stages of the world.
My goodness, I feel like I went to church.
Well, it is Sunday.
I know, right?
Get home from church.
Absolutely beautiful. I was going to say, amen, sister, amen. Yeah, I love. This is one of my favorite episodes, as a matter of fact. And, one of my big favorite quotes is by Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest and the most intelligent that survive. It is the one who is most adaptable to change. So do not put yourself on mute. It's time for you to be visible. It's time for you to amplify your voice, because the world needs you. So if you're a speaker, you need to speak, right?
Yes, you do.
All right. So, well, thank you so very much, my dear. It's such a great pleasure to get all of that words of wisdom and tips. And I know that this is going to be very transforming in many people's lives and careers. So we're going to put on the chat the visibility ticket, and speakers need to speak, and so you can get be a part of that. And also, if you need tents, and any party supplies, you're in Georgia, right?
I'm in Georgia, so they don't travel very well. So Georgia, Eastern Alabama. If you're down here in the Southeast, we've definitely got you for all of your party and event needs. But anywhere in the world, a good number of our event and speaker clients are global. So wherever you are in the world, I look to support you. And Furley, thank you so much. You
You're
are such a
welcome. You're
gracious
welcome.
hostess. I wish I could take your smile and just bottle it, because it is contagious and infectious and so encouraging. And we'll definitely see you at the Top Talent JV event for the next couple of days. David Fagan puts on an amazing event, and
Yes.
that's where we met, and many other great people. So you want to be there for the next couple of days, and then we'll see you at the visibility event in a couple of weeks.
All right. Take care, sweetie. Take care. Bye bye. Have a great day. And I cannot summarize what she said, but I hope that you get to listen to this again, because there's so much, especially the last part that you said about being loving and caring and all that. Whew. I said, like, I feel rejuvenated already in my spirituality. All right. Thank you, darling. Okay. Bye bye. Have a great, great day. Okay. Bye bye.